Hey, what's up, guys? We're almost Monday, and we're hanging with Rob on Front Row Live.
This new single is my introduction to Almost Monday, and it's such a catchy track. It was like stuck in my head, and it still is stuck in my head, and then it just made me want to listen to it over and over. And what is that chemistry like between the three of you in order to create something like this?
Yeah, well, we've all been friends for a while, so I guess the chemistry is pretty long lasting. Luke and I grew up together, and we grew up like playing music, and then we met Cole through surfing. So I guess sort of the chemistry has been there for a long time, and it's something that I feel like chemistry is sort of like built over time, if that makes sense. And yeah, this song's super fun. We had a ton of fun making it, and it was sort of one of those tracks that comes together like super quick. Like it took like maybe an hour to get the lyrics and sort of like a template of the track. So this one came together pretty nicely. So you kind of count your blessings on those ones.
And what really kickstarted the writing process for Live Forever? Was it a specific like lyric that you guys had in mind, or did the melody come in at first? Like, what was that for you guys?
I feel like the process is sort of like it's sort of always changing. I'd like to think most of the times like we usually start with sort of a melody and then kind of build it out. And again, it can change all the time, but for this one, I think we had a melody and we were just kind of like hanging out in the city. We wrote the song in Brooklyn and New York, so that's very far from San Diego for us. And we sort of came up with the melody and then kind of had like I'd say like an adventurous, like eventful day in New York, and the lyrics sort of kind of went into that. And basically, we landed at the end. Like I think we just put that chorus like "Live Forever." Basically, this idea of really like not taking for granted the time you have, and this kind of like youthful, I guess, energy of always approaching every day like it could be your last, or So that was sort of, I guess, the heart behind that track.
When I'm listening to the song like entirely, the production of the track makes me kind of feel like you guys experimented with sounds in order to create the sounds that you did for this record or for the single. What were some of these ways that you guys made these sounds happen in the studio, and what kickstarted the idea of the backing sounds that we hear on this song?
Yeah, we sort of like the fourth secret member of Almost Monday is our producer Simon. We like calling him the secret fourth member, but he's like kind of a big brother figure for us, and he's from New Zealand, and that trip out to Brooklyn was to go see him after like we wrote a cool song in LA. He was in town, so we went out to see him, and yeah, he's a genius. We absolutely love working with him. So he kind of helped, I feel like, take all of our energy as like individuals and like as a band of like what we're influenced by and kind of make sense of it all, I guess. So Live Forever was, the production, I don't know. We kind of wanted to have a little bit more of like guitar, like just louder guitars, I guess, and I guess more of not rock leaning, but just a little bit more energy in like the live instruments. So it was kind of fun for us because at that point we hadn't really fully like done a track like that with just really loud like live guitar and bass and whatnot. But yeah, that was kind of a cool part of it.
So Cole and Luke, as far as like the guitar and bass aspect for this, like what made you guys, or how did Simon make you guys, better musicians on this track? Because you've worked with him before with the debut EP. So like, what was different this time around now that you were incorporating a little bit more of the guitar and bass?
Yeah, so I think I remember when we made Live Forever, we were listening to a lot of bands like just indie rock hits from like bands like Foster the People and stuff, and we just really wanted to make a song with just like a big hook and something catchy with like guitars and guitar driven, and yeah, we kind of just messed around, and Simon's always pushing us musically, and like work really well with him, so I think we were just able to land on something cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's kind of just keep continually messing around until something feels right. And Simon's really helpful. So like be messing around on something, he'll be like, oh, that's sick. Like, let's try that. And it's like, oh, okay. Because it just kind of a continual evolving thing until you finally track it and it becomes what it is. But it's just kind of just a random process sometimes of how it comes about.
As you guys kind of mentioned, there was a little bit more of like that guitar-based sound on this. How did that change, Dawson? How did that change your vocals and like the ranges that you kind of decided to hit or go through throughout this entire song?
Yeah. Up until that point, I'd sort of, I don't want to say like played safe in my voice, but a little bit. Like I kind of know my limits and kind of where I'm at. And again, another like credit to Simon is as kind of like a singer, as a vocalist. Sometimes like being in a fancy studio can be like pretty intimidating. Like you're in a booth and it's like, yo, this is like 10 grand per minute to be in here. Like there's a lot of pressure. But with Simon, we literally record like in like his, in his like living room. And to his credit, I feel like he makes me feel really comfortable to sort of go to places I haven't been. So this was kind of an example. And I actually feel probably like the first track that I kind of got out of my comfort zone vocally. And it was, you kind of, at least for me, I like in the moment, I would like feel like, oh, this is like super lame. Like this doesn't sound good. And then having, I mean, like these guys too, and Simon be like, yo, that was like insane. Like do that again. Is really helpful to have sort of that energy in the room. So yeah, he really, these guys and Simon kind of helped me break out of any box or whatever vocally.
Did you guys collectively figure out the identity of the song when you guys were writing it, or was this something that happened when Simon stepped in to start producing?
Yeah, it was kind of because we had gone out to Brooklyn for this trip. It literally was just the experiences that we were having. So we were just throwing out ideas like, oh, remember like Dawson literally left his wallet in a skate shop and had to go back, like get on the subway, go all the way back. We're freaking out. Like we're like not used to like the city and we're just skating around, just trying to make our way. And so like literally made the song that lyric and like Dawson forgetting his wallet. And so I think the identity was really just like that trip's identity of going somewhere new and experiencing and kind of like getting lost a couple times and just trying to figure it out. And so the identity was really easy to come about just because it's exactly what we were experiencing in that week.
Now, as we jump into the music video, like it's a fun, quirky kind of video that you guys created for it. I mean, you stole Rob Machado's surfboard, like, like that's, how much more like California will that ever get? Like,
I'm glad you picked that up because we're I mean, obviously we're from San Diego and like in the surf world, Rob Machado is like an absolute legend. And it's funny, like some people probably, it might just go over their head that like that's like a total surf legend. But yeah, it's cool when people are like, oh, you had Rob Machado in it. So I'm glad you saw that. That's sick.
You know what's funny though, like when that scene kind of happened and you were running towards the surfboard and we just see the back of him, my initial like thought was like, it better be Rob Machado. Like you can't, who else would it be?
You can totally tell from his hair. That's sick.
So what was this process like for you guys for this music video? And did you guys come up with the concept, or is this something that someone else came in and helped you guys out with the concept, the treatment for the video?
Yeah, this was actually kind of the first video, and we're like really involved with like all the videos we make, and this was the first one where we sort of got a director, our like really brilliant friend Nico, who's from Detroit but like lived in San Diego, so there was sort of like this mutual, like he knows people we know but he lives in Detroit. Super talented, super cool dude. And it was kind of our first time of like really releasing like full ownership and like writing basically a script for like a video to Nico, and he crushed it. I mean, I remember we were on a Zoom call and he just explained it and we were just like laughing through the treatment. And it was one of those, again, kind of cool moments where everything just sort of like worked out and came together. And that guy is super brilliant. He kind of, I mean, it's funny, there's some like parallels with like, Simon as a producer and then like a Nico as a director, like people kind of elevating, what we do and kind of making it better than we could on our own. So he definitely did that and crushed it on this video, and it was, yeah, super fun.
That's awesome, guys. Well, congratulations with Live Forever. I'm definitely excited for more music from you. And the fact that, like I mentioned earlier, the song was so catchy that it just stayed in my head and I wanted more. Like, I definitely want more music from you guys. So I hope we get to hear some soon.